Hello and welcome to Update 6 on what is Category 1 Cyclone Vayu, winds of 90 miles per hour and a pressure of 966 millibars as of 7:30 p.m. Indian Standard Time on June the 12th today. This is an interesting storm, latitude 19.2 degrees north, 69.6 degrees east, and you can see here wind speed significant, rainfall potential major, storm size significant, and overall threat to land leaning towards major at the moment at the projected CDPS of stage 6 when it were to make landfall, assuming a 75 knot landfall. You can see here that Category 1, you can see where the tropical storm force winds extend, with it being the southwestern quadrant actually having the largest wind field. You can see there that catastrophic damage potential from stage 6 on the CDPS. 98 miles from Varil, Surat 179 miles from Karachi, 374 miles away, and from Hilf in Oman, 648 miles away. Turbat, it's also 554 miles away from. Here we are, you're about to see the areas in gray are the areas with the potential of tropical storm force winds, and you can see that is where tropical storm force winds could occur according to my forecast. You'll see the GFS model actually does say there's a little bit more of an extensive area, but I do disagree with that at the moment. I do think the area is smaller. Here's the GFS's precipitation forecast, and you can see the storm moving into India according to the GFS here. Near Varit, and it's going to move inland quite a bit. Obviously, it will be weakening as it does so if this forecast does verify. The GFS and HWARF have been having a very similar track lately, but there is still the possibility of it veering towards Oman and Pakistan. We'll still have to look at that. Sea surface temperatures are looking extremely favorable. That's not going to be a problem throughout any of this storm's life. We will be talking about that problem here in just a little bit. You can see here the wind speeds as the storm does make landfall. You can see GFS projecting a Cat 2 landfall there. And you can see those tropical storm force winds extending inland a little more than what is currently forecasted according to the GFS on this particular run. This is wind gusts, I'm talking sustained winds there, so you can see those slight differences there, but the cyclone really diminishing by day 5. So you can see chances of tropical storm force winds. Varil is at 65%, Surat at 5%, Karachi at 35%, Turbat at 10%, and Hilf at 15%. If the storm does make the turn, which has about a 15% chance of happening. So you can see intensity, most models now keeping it at Cat 1 to Cat 2 for the remainder of this storm's life. You can also notice a few other things about this. Its deep layer shear is going to probably remain the same, if not lowering. That's really what's going to be going on there. So not much inhibiting it there. And then you can see here sea surface temperatures are also fine. It's the relative humidity that's going to tank as very dry air gets entrained into the system. That might be what's beginning the weakening trend right now. You can see that dry air on the top part of your screen there. The storm is rotating, still has a relatively good structure. The problem is that eyeball just isn't very organized, and the eye of the storm just really isn't there like it once was. So the storm has weakened substantially. That does not mean that re-intensification is impossible at this point, but this has significantly hindered the storm's ability to continue its intensification. So we'll have to see what does happen with it. The storm is rather unpredictable in both track and intensity right now. It's difficult to predict, but Force 13 will continue to make regular updates on the system as things do progress. You can follow our outlets. First of all, the website, force13.com, with new articles coming out all the time for your reading pleasure about all things weather. YouTube.com/force13 with our tropical weather bulletins, animations, and tropical updates. You can also find us on Facebook with more information on those things. And then also on Twitter. We have the US branches and AU branches on there as well, but you can see the URL below. Teespring.com/store/force13. That's where you can find things like the Smug Mug to buy. And finally, the Patreon. Patreon.com/force13, where you can support the project and help it become even better.